guys will be able to hear, see everything because you won't be able to.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first annual Durham Public Schools Science Virtual Quiz Bowl. We're going to get started in a few minutes, but I'd like to introduce to you Tim Gibson, who is in charge of all things elementary, and he wants to give you a little quick pep talk.
Right. So good afternoon, students. Thank you for your patience as we are working. You are kind of making history for Durham Public Schools today as we're trying to do all this electronically. I do want to thank you for participating at your schools on science and showing your love of science, and good luck to all the teams today. And teachers, thank you for supporting this in your buildings as well.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. So we're going to get a few things out of the way as far as housekeeping. I'm going to ask that Sherry or Dana, if you can come up here and monitor my chat for me. So in just a moment, I'm going to be giving you the PIN number. So if you're joining us from YouTube world, I'm going to ask that you not log in on the PIN, but you just watch the questions from your classroom, and you can answer them while we're answering them here. But we're only asking for those to log in that are actually participating in the Google Hangout. That will just help us with our scores, okay? So if you can give me a thumbs up, everyone out there in TV land, if you are ready to go, okay? Excellent. And so the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to, on your computer, type in kahoot.it. Now remember, we're only doing this for students who are participating in the Google Hangout. If you're in your classroom participating right now, you're just going to answer as you see the questions. So I'm getting ready to launch our Kahoot, and in just a moment you're going to see a PIN number. When you see that PIN number, you're going to go to kahoot.com or just kahoot.it, kahoot.it, and type in this PIN number, 634204. And when it asks for a nickname, I need you to type in the name of your school. I'm going to wait for you to start joining me right here on kahoot.it. I will ask if there are any questions during this that my IT people can type them in the chat windows. So it looks like we have Mangum, George Watts, Oak Grove, Spring Valley, Bethesda, Moorhead, and C.C. Spalding. I think you are watching from YouTube land. I also want you to log in with this PIN number because you are part of our team. Fayetteville Street, and waiting still for C.C. Spalding. So let me go ahead and give you a few more instructions. This is a timed test, so there are 60 seconds available for each question. I don't think we're going to take the entire 60 seconds, but as soon as everyone answers, I will be able to go to the next question. Now let me encourage you, on the real end of grade test for science coming up at the end of May or the 1st of June, I want you to take much more time on this. But for this purpose, we're going to answer a little bit more quickly. It looks like we almost are ready. So teams, you will work together, and then when you come up with your answer, one person will choose whichever symbol belongs to the correct answer. So we're going to go ahead and start this now. So Science Quiz Bowl, are you ready? So the first question is, which device is used to determine the volume of a liquid? Anemometer, graduated cylinder, test tube, or thermometer? Choose the symbol that matches your answer. So we're looking for 7 to pop up here. This CC didn't get in. We hope those of you that are watching this in your classroom have got an answer chosen. And we're waiting for one more answer from our schools. There we go. So the correct answer is graduated cylinder. And we're going to go next. And so far, here are our winners. George Watch, Spring Valley. C.C. Spalding is in. Fayetteville Street and Moorhead. Make sure you click on the correct symbol beside the answer. Next question. 4 balls are moving at the same speed. Which ball will require the most force to stop it? And I will let you read these answers. There's graduated cylinder. And we're going to go next. And so far, here are our winners. George Watch, Spring Valley. Somebody is watching. Make sure you click on the correct symbol beside the answer.
Stacia.
Next question.
No, we don't
Four balls
see
are
words.
moving at the same speed. Which ball will require the most force to stop it?
You can't see that.
And I will let you read these answers. And we're going to go next. And so far, here are our winners.
Okay. We don't
Some of you are watching the YouTube video. Turn that off. Thank you. All right, so you're only going to see the symbols on your screen, and then you are looking at the screen in front of your room. You should have the big screen on in your media center that you're watching this from. Okay? So you should have the big screen on in your media center so that you can see the answers and then match those up with the symbols. It looks like several of you were able to get into that one. So we're going to try the next question. Here's what I'm going to ask. If you have a question for us, if you will type it in the side chat window, we'll be able to help you there. We cannot see the answers on the big screen because of the videos. You should not be watching the YouTube video in the class where you are right now. You should just be watching this Google Hangout. Next question. 2 cars travel for the same time. What will determine which car covers more distance? Triangle, the starting point of each car. Trapezoid, the direction in which each car moves. Circle, the speed of each car. Or square, the length of each car. I see what they're saying. They can't see because of the videos at the bottom of the screen. Hmm? Yes. So what I'm going to ask you to do is type in the chat window the answer to this question. Can you see the answers when I tilt the screen? Well, you don't need to see the question. Thank you for your patience with this. We know this was the first time we had tried this. So we're trying to adjust the screen a little bit. So let's go ahead and try to go with the next question. What's going to happen, students, if you can't see this, if it's not working well for you, we will re-release the pen later today and let you take the test again. Again, this is a learning curve for all of us. So we're going to go to the next question now. Which of these affects the motion of an object? Okay? Which of these affects the motion of an object? The position of nearby objects? The trapezoid is the object's length. The circle is the age of the object. Or square, the force acting on the object. Well, there you go. I'm going to assume now that you are seeing the question since that happened so quickly. All right, the next question. Which best describes algae? Producers in a pond ecosystem? Consumers in an ocean ecosystem? Prey in a forest ecosystem? Or predators in a salt marsh ecosystem? Excellent job. Everyone got that right. For the next ones, I am not going to read the answers anymore since it looks like you're all seeing those. The question number 6. What is gravity? Great job. Question number 7. In what way are evaporation and condensation similar? So let's just review this. When both are caused by changes in heat energy. Which is an example of a different substance being formed? Which is an example of a different substance being formed? Can you count the little numbers of showing up right now? So there's one more on YouTube. This is why you couldn't get an answer there. Waiting for one more answer. Great job, guys. I do want to remind you that the most important thing that we're doing today is encouraging you to do your best on this end of grade test. Your teachers are rock stars, and they have helped you all year accumulate this knowledge. So this is the fun part right here, but you are all winners. You are all winners. Next question. Question 9. Which is most responsible for the uneven heating of the air in the atmosphere? Which of these answers is most responsible for that uneven air? Number 10, what causes the metal handle of a heated pot to also become hot? I hope that you guys at home that are watching this or in the classrooms or all over the country through Kahoot are really thinking about the answers to these questions and coming up with real life examples. And the answer to this question is conduction. Remember, conduction. Please picture a fire in your head with you're holding a metal stick that has a marshmallow on the end of it. Next question. Why do winds at the beach change direction between day and night? This is one of those tricky questions about land breezes and sea breezes. I want you to picture that brain drain in your head that your teachers have given you. This one's a tough one. Most kids in North Carolina miss this one. Not this year. Durham has this one correct this year. Those of you that are participating in your classroom, you have the opportunity to have conversations right now or pull those brain drains out of your books. Good job. Right in under the belt there. So we have a new leader on the board, Moorhead Montessori. Question number 12. Which will most likely result from a low-pressure weather system? Remember on our last weather chat, Jim Cantori helped us with this one. Let me remind you that although we're on a timer today, when you take that end of grade test, we want you taking your time. All right, next question. Which has the greatest effect on wind speed? Precipitation, cloud cover, wind direction, or air pressure? Which one of those has the greatest effect on wind speed? All right, so remember that air pressure is going to have the greatest effect on wind speed. Wind direction also has an effect, but we're looking for the greatest effect. I also want to tell you one more thing. We're getting a lot of correct answers here, okay? They're tied into how much time it takes. Remember, this is what we're doing today, but if you're getting the correct answer, you're already a winner. Next question. Which is an example of a single-celled organism? An amoeba, an insect, a fish, or a worm? Would you look at that? 5 seconds and the entire group gets off. Would you please take a moment and give yourself a round of applause? Excellent job. I did not mean to do that. Hang on. Let's see if I can. Okay. That was my fault. Students, we're okay, though. We're still going. Why do multicellular organisms need transport systems? Think of the little book we read as a child. Everybody poops. Sherry, would you contact Glenn Elementary School, and it is Arnold, and tell them that they're getting a video call is full, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are on. So if he can just join via YouTube, and he should have the video for that. So again, we're having some little glitches here, but we'll get these figured out so we can do this again. Does it look like we have double calls on here?
I'm trying to see.
All right, so just to let you know what's happening over here at the Staff Development Center, we have one person moderating the chats, we have one person keeping score, and we have one person on their cell phone contacting their IT people. So we have a full house in here working with us. Good. All right, next question. Which is the function of the cardiovascular system? Cardiovascular system. This one's a tough one, and we know last year this was a field test question, but let's see how well you worked with this one in your classroom. Shouldn't be full though, because we only have 8 schools. That's what I'm thinking. See that middle one there? This person right here. So those of you watching it in your classroom, did you get the right answer? What did you choose for the function of the cardiovascular system? And that was to transport gases throughout the body, to transport gases. I don't want you to be discouraged if you're not listed right here on this board. This is just choosing the top 5, but we still have many questions to go. Which body system sends electrical signals to all other body systems? I bet you're going to nail this one because you're probably using part of it. Right there you go, your nervous system. With your brain being in charge of everything. Thank you for using your brains today. Boy, that knocked a lot of people's scores up. Which organism is a producer? Look at you again. It's grass. I'm going to ask you right now in your schools, what kind of organism is a mushroom? I bet you're yelling that out right now. A decomposer. Absolutely. If your name's not listed on here, don't give up. We're still going. Which is most responsible for recycling dead plants and animals in an ecosystem? Which one of those recycles plants and animals Goodness gracious, in 5 seconds we have everybody getting those right. Good job, teachers and students. How would a bird population be affected by a housing development built in that area? We have a lot of this going on in Durham right now. Housing developments are coming in and taking over the wetlands. When that happens, what's going to happen to those birds? There's 2 that you might be going back and forth on. But one answer is going to be the best. Nice job. So let's talk about that for just a moment. So we only had, we had 5 of you get that right. Remember, if they come in and build houses, it's going to move away all the worms and little things that birds are going to want to eat. All right? So we're unbalancing our ecosystem there. What would a child most likely inherit from his parents? Inherit. We're looking between inherited traits and learned traits. Let's see how quickly we can get these answers up here. I feel like you were really, there you go, his height. His height. Good job, everybody. What would a child not inherit from one or both parents? We're looking for a learned trait. Excellent. I'm sure my girls are very happy about that they did not inherit my hairstyle. Because a lot of times they say I don't do it well. But hairstyle is going to be not an inherited trait. If you'll notice now, we still have a clear winner, but we're getting closer. Don't give up. If your name is not on here, don't you dare give up. Remember our motto, failure is always this. Question 23. What best describes the speed of a ball thrown straight up in the air and then comes back down? We've done this in many of your classrooms. We've come in and modeled this. It goes straight up in the air and comes back down. Which of these statements best describes that? Love that you're taking your time on this one. This one's a tough one. Miss Valentine, if you could give him a call back and tell him if they didn't get on, that we'll redo. Think of the word gravity here. Yeah, it's going to go slower on the way up and faster on the way down. Remember that gravity is going to take control, and you're pushing against gravity when you're throwing it up. I'm okay with this, but let's make sure that we really review this one, students. Okay? What causes a moving object to increase in speed in a forward motion or a forward direction? What causes a moving object to do this? I hope you guys watching it in your classrooms are coming up with an answer right now. Excellent job, guys. I really appreciate this. So we would like to do something real quick. We're going to take just one quick little break so we can monitor the chat window. So if you'll give me about 2 minutes, we just want to check with our scorekeepers, check with our IT people. IT people, teachers, if you have questions, this is the time to send them into the chat window. Those of you that are working on the questions, stretch your fingers for just a moment. We're coming back in just 2 minutes or less. I cannot see the points. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we are loving this. I'm going to actually, let's see, what is your capture screen? Command Shift 4, and take some pictures of this because we want to see your pictures down there at the bottom. I love this. Mine's Command Shift 3.
It's Command Shift 3 full screen,
There
Command
you
Shift
go.
4 crop, and I want the kids on the bottom.
Nice. All right, guys, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. All right, what is responsible for a rain puddle disappearing when the sun comes out? What is responsible for that? Believe it or not, weather is one of the hardest things we have on the North Carolina end of grade science test in 5th grade. This year, though, Durham's going to be at the top of that list of making sure that we know all of our weather questions and our matter and energy questions, force and motion, ecosystems, genetics. I kind of hate it for all the other schools out there because Durham's going to be at the top this year. I do apologize for my little typos here. I think that happened when I was typing in so quickly. All right, the answer for that is going to be evaporation. So let's do it together, students. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, seepage, runoff. Seepage, runoff. Excellent. Our next question, if 10 grams of water are added to 5 grams of salt, how much salt water is made? Don't let this one trick you up, students. "10 grams of water are added to 5 grams of salt. How much salt water is made?" There you go. It's good to see 8 up there because I want to make sure you're all there. And look at that. Look at that. Simple addition there. All right. What describes the mass of a balloon that gets larger when heated? What's happening when the mass of a balloon gets larger when it's heated? Remember, if you're answering these in the classroom, I want you to prove each answer right or wrong. We are being mythbusters today. All right, so that mass is going to stay the same. Remember, weight changes, mass is constant. I want to apologize for 3 errors right here. That was my fault. But how are people able to feel heat from a fire without touching it. I will say that's probably not acceptable up there, but this was late last night, so we'll keep going. How are people able to feel heat from a fire without touching it? Good job, guys. Let me tell you, matter and energy is one of those that the state of North Carolina does not do well on. Good job. Why is the water at the bottom of a pool cooler than near the surface? This is almost one of those times when you can say, odd man out, 3 truths and a lie. One of them should not even be up there. When you're in your little group right now, can you tell me which of those words should not even been part of this conversation? Again, don't you dare give up because of these numbers. You are competing against yourself today. What season is August in the southern hemisphere? In the southern hemisphere. Be careful. Be careful. This one might be a game changer. Are those of you in the classrooms looking at a globe right now? I bet you are. All right, so the trick part of that was winter time. Southern, we're in the northern hemisphere, okay? We will experience summer in August. It's going to flip-flop for the southern hemisphere. What weather conditions will a high-pressure system bring to an area on a cold, cloudy day? On a cold, cloudy day, what weather conditions will a high-pressure system bring? Just to let you know, right now we have about 200 classrooms watching this live.
It ran too. Then it went away. Oh, she's still there. Okay. Get out of the way so the students can see now. So they can see the students. They don't.
There you go. Again, let me tell you, we have about 200 classrooms participating right now all over the country. We have several that have just checked from San Diego. Make sure you do not unmute your microphones. There, thank you very much. All right, it's going to be a sunny, sunny day. Which best describes a characteristic of the jet stream? Now remember, we virtually hung out with several airplane pilots and traffic controllers, and they talked about how they planned their flights based on the jet stream. So which best describes a characteristic of this jet stream? Just got a comment that's from students watching in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico. They're 4th graders. This is what they study in 4th grade. So hello to all of you in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're in Durham, North Carolina today. Yep. Alberta, Canada. Hello, Alberta. This makes me so happy I can't stand it. Woo! Excellent job getting that one right. All right. Which best describes a bacterial cell? What does a bacterial cell do, or what characteristics does it have? Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is a good one. This is 3 truths, odd man out, whatever you want to call it. Those of you in your classrooms, are you thinking about this? Are you checking back in your notebooks? This is actually a great question. Good job. Notice all these others said more than one part of or contains different. Bacteria is a complete organism. A complete organism. All right. So, what do single cell and multi-cell organisms have in common? We've also had this question a little bit earlier in a different form. But I bet North Carolina is going to give it to us twice again.
Could do without your help, buddy.
Make sure we're muting. Glenn's up.
What do single cell and multi-cell organisms have in common? They both have specialized cells, both perform all life processes within one cell, both have a...
Just got a message from Burlington, Vermont. For all my Discovery friends, that's where we were a few years ago. Mrs. Pontoon's classroom in Burlington, Vermont. Remember our earlier question talked about waste systems. Waste systems. All right, which makes up the digestive system? Boy, we should be getting these pretty quickly. Remember those frogs? What did we look at inside of those frogs? It made up that digestive system. Absolutely. Great job. Remember, we're going to add the mouth to that when we're talking about frogs, too. All right. I'm sorry that I'm stopped for just a moment. I'm looking for something. Here we go. Next question. What might result from a sudden decrease in the eagle population in the grasslands? What's going to happen if that eagle population decreases? I'm not too happy about it. That's what we don't want in our backyards, an overpopulation of snakes. So let's just look at this for a minute. Several of you put that we would have a decrease in the population of snakes, and an overpopulation of snakes. Those are going to be opposite answers, so just look at those words. Here we go. Why would a litter of puppies have similar traits to his mother and father? Why would a litter of puppies have similar traits to his mother and father?
Okay. Why would a litter of puppies have similar traits to his mother and father?
Excellent job, guys. Those are inherited traits. So let's look at what are some examples of inherited traits. Which one of these would be inherited traits that they would get from mom or dad or both? Oh, they put one up there to trick you. All right, now the one I think they tried to maybe trick you on is fingerprints. So we know we are born with things that our parents have also. Remember, our fingerprints are very unique. No one has the same one. Don't you give up on me, guys. We're looking at the numbers here, but we are also looking at what you're doing in your classrooms. What force stops a wagon with a child riding it at the bottom of the hill? Let me read that again. What force stops a wagon with a child riding it at the bottom of the hill? We're pretty good on force and motion. Our CDAs and our cumulative tests have shown that we know things about more force and motion. For those of you across the country, we know a lot of it here because we are the home of NASCAR. What force stops the wagon? Do you want to say how thankful I am for my volunteers in here today? Miss Hodges, Miss Valentine, and Miss Sinkfield are working above and beyond. They think they're getting paid for this, but they are not. They are getting nothing. For those of you that have dissected frogs with me, let's make a connection. Friction, FR, frog, FR. What's on their hands that causes friction? I hope you're answering that now. What's on their hands that's causing that friction? Don't you give up on me. Remember our video. Don't stop until you've got nothing left. What must occur before clouds can form? What must occur before clouds can form? Really want to give a great shout out to our Durham Public Schools 5th grade teachers. These things are happening because you're doing your job very well in the classroom. Thank you so much for your dedication to our students. Fairbanks, Alaska, welcome. Welcome, Fairbanks, Alaska, Miss Denune. All right, remember that water vapor must lose its energy. Once it loses its energy, it's going to start to condense. Excellent job. We're almost there. Which process allows green plants to control the amount of water that is stored in their leaves? This is not something we specifically teach, but it is in our standards at the very bottom. We should know the process. The process. I bet you can take one of those out pretty quickly. For those of you watching in your classrooms in Durham Public Schools, don't forget to check out your posters that their teachers just received from me. We are encouraging you to prove every answer right or wrong on the test. Don't forget we're having a special Science Ed Camp on May the 30th here at Staff Development Center from 9 to 12. All 5th grade students are invited. Excellent job, guys. Transpiration. What might cause water drops on a window to disappear later in the day? Remember, the sun is the central force in our universe, and it controls the water cycle. Excellent job. I do want to tell you, although the scores are here, every student that has participated today from a school that's doing the Google Hangout, and includes CC Spalding, who's doing this on YouTube, have received free Kahoot t-shirts. I will be sending those to all the schools. Congratulations, and thank you from Kahoot. .it for sponsoring our event today. You're all getting t-shirts. What happens to a metal railroad track during the heat of a summer day? What happens to a metal railroad track during the heat of a summer day? Think about what heat does to things. Definitely a higher order thinking strategy here that you're going to have to use. Welcome to Gastonia, North Carolina, for joining in with us right now. Gastonia, we are glad you're here. We're only a couple of hours from you. All right, so we just want to watch. We have two completely different answers, so let's think about this for just a moment. What happens to things when they get hot? And teachers, if we'll add this question to our list of things we want to review and remediate. What type of weather would result from a warm front moving into an area in the next 24 hours? If we knew that a warm front was coming this way, wherever you are, Fairbanks, Alaska, Albuquerque, New Mexico, San Diego, Gastonia, Burlington, Vermont, or Durham, North Carolina, what kind of weather would we get from this? You're working in your school classrooms right now. Turn and talk to a partner. What are you coming up with? What answers are you finding? You're going to have cloudy skies and rainy weather. So that might be one of the questions we want to put somewhere on our board in the classrooms, teachers, so we can review this one. Excellent job on making a selection. Let's make sure we're getting them right for the next time. We're almost finished. What causes rising temperatures in the Pacific Ocean, drought in the U.S., and flooding in South America? I hope you know this one. There is something that's causing all of that. And that answer is going to be, well, it was El Nino. El Nino. What will result when the jet streams move south of North Carolina?
All right, what will happen if the jet stream dips south of North?
What will result when the jet stream moves south of North Carolina? All right, so let's see. North Carolina will experience cold weather. The majority of you got that one right. It will result in cold weather. Just a few more questions. I do want to encourage you, though, that wherever you fall right in here, you are all winners today, and you've all won T-shirts from Cahoots. So how do you know if a cell is unicellular or multicellular? How do you know if a cell is, and I apologize again, I just see another typo. I should not be typing these in at 2 o'clock in the morning. The size of the cells, what the organism eats, how many types of cells are in the organism, or how fast the organism grows. How many types of cells are in the organism? Well, I want to go ahead and tell you that we do have a clear winner here today, which is Moorhead Montessori, but I do want to ask that you all applaud and give yourself a pat on the back. And would you just for a moment unmute all the microphones? I want to hear your voices because we're going to have a huge clapping in just a moment for everybody. So let's unmute our microphones. I want to hear from every school.